right. We're ready. So, Lieutenant Eldred Collins, where do you come from?
I'm from Freetown, Sierra Leone. I grew up in the city. I attended school in Freetown. And because I found out that the system was not good, and even the government was not working in the interest of the people of this country, I have to leave.
Why did you think the government wasn't working in the interest of?
Well, at least the previous government were just unscrupulous and greedy politicians that are working on their self-interest. Educational facility in this country very, very poor. Health facility very poor. I mean, I just can't make it with the system. I think that was why I left.
And when did you get involved with the RUF?
Some years ago. You should know that the RUF is a well-organized, structured movement. We met with Sankor and we decided to come and see that changes come in our society. See, that was why I joined the RUF, to see that this nation comes to the right, being ruled in the right way.
So when was it that you first started feeling that the system just wasn't working the way it should work?
When I was a little kid. Since I was a small boy, I knew that the system was not working in the right interest of the people. I had that feeling, I had that instinct in me from birth. So I can live up to the expectation where of the previous government under Sheikh still in the APC, where corruption was in rampant, killing was in rampant. There were so many the news were now blackout to the world. See, even the international community, the donors, the loans, the money that was spent for development in this our country are not being used in the right purpose. They are being used in the interest of these selfish politicians who are ministers in this previous government. Even when they say they're sending 12 million to Sierra Leone, in actual fact, when it comes to Sierra Leone, maybe it's 500,000. 11.5 has been diverted into various bank accounts. The countryside is very, very poor, underdeveloped. Mineral resources are being smuggled out of the country one way or the other, filling the pockets of some other people. So I couldn't stand it. I couldn't sit and see things, just going out of hand, where the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. So I have to leave.
So what effect do you think that colonialism had on the government of this country?
What
effect do you think that colonialism had on this country, on the government, on its development or lack of it?
Yeah, in the first place, we know that Sierra Leone was colonized by the British. And then the British, they turned the country over to Sierra Leoneans to handle. That was during the independence era under Sir Milton Magai. And the British government left out workout plans and structures that the government, the independent government, have to follow. But they did not follow these structures that were built by the British for good governance. They started creating their own. Especially after the death of Milton Magai, when Albert Magai became Prime Minister, there was a whole lot of conflict, power struggling between Sheikh Stephen and Albert Magai. From that time, they had a series of coups. David Lansana had the first coup, and from that time, I knew that Sierra Leone will never be straightened up again, except a revolution takes place in this country.
So when did you first meet Fortis Sanko?
Well, specifically, I can't tell you the exact time now, but I can say from years back, because he too was against the system, and he has the same idea as I did have, and of trying to clean the system, lay a solid foundation for other governments to follow.
So how long was the RUF in the bush fighting?
Well, we have been in the bush since 1991, when we started the onslaught, the war, and approximately 6 years, we have been fighting, and we fought against 4 different governments. We waged the war against the APC, which was the most corrupt, the government that really brought this country into a hole of darkness. And that government was overthrown by the servants, the MPRC. And after the MPRC, there was a coup within the MPRC that brought in Mada Bio. And Mada Bio started talking peace with us through our leader, Corporal Simina Sanko, for Kaba to complete. But he did not. I mean, in fact, what Kaba did was he tried to bring divisiveness and to stage a counter coup within our camp. And he even went to the extent of causing our leader, Corporal Simina Sanko, to be arrested in Nigeria, where he's up till now. And,
have you ever actually seen the peace accord?
I've seen the peace accord. I read through the peace accord. Even before our leader signed the peace accord, they came to us in our jungles and informed us, and we gave him the go-ahead to sign the peace. If the Sierra people feel that now they want peace, we can sit at the negotiation table. We give him the go-ahead to do that, and he went and did it.
So why do you think the ousted president, Tijan Kabat, never delivered the peace accord to Parliament?
Well, that question can be answered best by himself. Because in the first place, as I was saying, the people of this country has been denied a right. When he was supposed to have had, when he received the peace accord, he was supposed to have brought the peace accord to Parliament. And the country, the people should have known what was in the peace accord, but he did not do that. And he can better answer that question, why he did not carry it to Parliament and why the Sierra Leonean people did not understand what was in the peace accord. And you know that peace accord was signed by our leader, Corporal Simina Sanko, and Kaba signed on behalf of the government, and we had guarantors. The international community signed, and none of these guarantors even, worked towards the implementation of the peace accord.
So what do you think needs to be done most in this country right now?
In the first place, our leader, Simina Sanko, should be released. He should be released so he can come back home, so that calculated plans can be worked out. As far as we are concerned, we had instructions for him to come down to town to join our brothers in Freetown. And we are taking command from Major Johnny Paul Kroma, the head of state, until he arrives in Freetown. You see, most of the issues about what can be done or this and that can be best answered by our leader. We can answer for him. We only took instructions from him. See, he has all mandates to disarm, to do anything on behalf of us.
What do you think about these accusations that the leadership inside the RUF or the People's Army are from Liberia?
That's false. Well, I'm not a Liberian. I'm a born Sierra Leonean. Those are just cheap propaganda, tend to discredit the credibility of the RUF, which is not the People's Army. We can be Liberians and then we come and take up arms to fight in Sierra Leone, a country that doesn't belong to Liberia. You see, we are Sierra Leoneans. We are against the system, and we are here to put the record straight.
So it takes a lot of courage to stand up to the rest of the world and say, we're not going to take this anymore. What are you planning to do right now to make this country be more self-sufficient?
Well, in the first place, as I told you before, this country has been ravaged by unscrupulous politicians who have been going to the outside world, requesting for aids, asking for all type of money to say, and in the pretext that they are bringing it to Sierra Leone, which of course they are not be bringing it to Sierra Leone, and this money or these countries have been sending aid to this country. The aids have not been reaching to this country. If they want to find out the facts whether what I'm saying is true, they should come and check, to counter-check whether all these aids have been coming to Sierra Leone and whether these aids have been used for the intended purpose. None of them. They should come and see for themselves. We say we want a better system. We want leaders with honesty, sincerity, and dedication working in the interest of the people. We don't want leaders who are only